be back on the ice and doing what you love?
Yeah, it's this surgery wasn't a big one, but still takes a toll mentally that I couldn't finish the year last year, and sitting on the other side of it was the right decision to end that season early last year and get ready and have a good summer and feel as good as I do now. And it was great to get back out there and get the first one under the belt.
But what was it now that it's over with? I mean, was it knee or what was it? You want to stay there?
Yeah, I just cleaned up on my meniscus. Just swelled up, and we were working back to come back and play. If we were in a different situation, I think we could have done it. But that and had a cracked foot 8 games in last year that I played with for 20 games. So gave those some time to rest this summer and get back.
How'd that happen? Was it just a shot? Or?
Yeah, just a shot off the foot against Philly in my 8th game back. So
a little. Didn't want to come out of the lineup? Or?
No, I've missed enough. I've missed enough hockey, so it wasn't displaced. So I was able to keep playing.
What excites you about this season?
I think coming off last year, taking some steps, adding some key players, some depth, really filling out that lineup, and just the excitement we have in the room and around the guys, around the city and the fans. Our expectations are high, and so are everyone's. So. We're looking to come out, ready to go.
What's the most difficult thing about just restarting again for you? I mean, you obviously have a lot of experience and having long layoffs and having to kind of ramp back up again. Just what's the most challenging part of that?
I think just, game speed, catching back up to, what's happening out there. Summer skates and scrimmages don't really replicate what a game is like out there, even in the regular season. So just get as many reps as I can now to get my mind up to speed with the game speed.
Did you feel pretty good last night?
Yeah, we came in a little late, but we played well. I felt great. I worked hard this summer, so that's what I expected.
So when did you guys finally get in? Was it just traffic or something?
Yeah, 5:50 we showed up, so quick turnaround. A little chaos in the room, but got the adrenaline going for everyone, so we made it work.
For you, with your kind of summer, when is the spot that you kind of started feeling like I can start ramping up to? When was like the line between recovery and training for the season for you as you kind of look at the summer?
I got fully cleared second week of June. And then I took a couple weeks off, and then got right back into it. So I'd say, near the end of June there.
With the knee stuff, was it just something where, was it one thing? Was it kind of wear and usage last year? Like when they kind of looked at why the discs needed to be cleaned, what did they kind of assess it as?
Wear and tear. I mean, I had 2 major surgeries on that knee, and I kind of took that hit from Johnson there in that last game that kind of just, my knee kind of swelled up after that and just irritated it. So just a combination of both.
Where's the added depth due just for competition on the lines, on the power play units?
Yeah, it looks, it gives us two solid units, which you need. Sometimes if your top unit gets stuck out there, the second unit's got to go out, and having 2 solid units is really going to help, throughout the year.
Do you guys talk in the locker room at all about, seeing the possibility of playing past the regular season? You look like a good team, and there might be some other teams falling off in the Atlantic, or?
I think every team going into the season, has the expectation to make the playoffs, and we're no different. But we know the work we got to do, and we know how much work it's going to be and how hard it's going to be, and we're just going to start with the work, and then we'll go from there.
You've been here for a while now. You're kind of one of the veterans on the team. You've been through some bad times, but just coming into this season, is there kind of a different feeling, a different vibe to it with all the additions that were made in the off season?
I think, since I got here, 4 years ago, each year we've taken a step, and I think last year was our biggest one. Keeping those games competitive as long as we did, and staying in that hunt as long as we did is something that we haven't had here in a little bit. and then bringing in, you know, the veteran guys, guys that have come from, you know, teams that have gone far and whatnot, and know what it takes. Definitely helps, you know, in the room and on the ice.
Do you feel like you still have something to prove?
Yeah, always. You know, it's a hard league to stay in, and you know, you got to prove yourself every year. So I go in with the same mindset as I did my first year.
What stood out to you about Daniel Sprong's team playing on Leamington these last few days?
His shot is an obvious one, but the way he sees the ice offensively and finds the soft areas and the plays he makes, you know, it's easy to play with him. I've been watching him play since we were really young, so it's pretty funny to be on a line now too.
How did you actually meet him so long ago?
We played together in summer hockey when we were like 9 years old, or something like that.
Robby, in terms of that depth, what does that do mentally for you guys as players to know that there's people on every line who put the puck into that?
Yeah, it's you know, we were our best last year when we had 4 lines rolling, everyone contributing, and you know, you're gonna have to get it from different lines every night, and you know, with that depth, add some healthy competition in the room, and you know, it allows us to stay consistent as a group.
Was a strong shot always something that stood out even when you guys were kids? Is that something?
Yeah, he's always had a good shot.
Even as a 9-year-old?
Yeah, he did. He's always had that crazy curve, so.
Did he have the visor, the
No, that's the new one. Yeah, we're still giving it to him on that one.
Andrew, how does it feel to just come into this season healthy, and seems like a reverse from last year, basically?
Yeah, I think just being with the guys in camp, and feels like we're miles ahead of where we were at this time last year. Just you know, on the ice, off the ice as a team, everything like that. So feels like the group has really gelled quickly, and yeah, just looking forward to getting this part of the season over and getting ready for the real stuff.
For you personally too. I mean, you were coming off that surgery last summer and stuff. How do you feel this time around?
Good. It was nice to have a full summer of training. Did a lot of new stuff. Did a lot of stuff that had helped me kind of get to the point where I am now. So, yeah, it was nice to not have to worry about that side of things coming into the year. Just kind of go out and play a little bit.
You know, you're coming in healthy, Robby Fabbri, a bunch of new guys. What does it do just for the atmosphere overall to have so much competition for some prime minutes?
Well, I mean, I think it's kind of clear what the team looks like too, and you know, Wally's not hurt either to start the year, so I mean, the group feels good. I think there obviously is competition for minutes, but I think everyone's kind of pulling in the right direction at the same time. There's no animosity or anything like that. Everyone's just trying to put their best foot forward right now, and we'll see how the lines shake out, and then go from there. So the group feels good though. We're gelling and kind of moving forward on a daily basis.
Looks like you and Michael picked up right where you left off.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, his injury was pretty brutal timing last year, but yeah, he's had a good camp so far. He looks healthy, looks fast. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of tinkering going on the next week and a half or so. But yeah, I think that's something that we're both comfortable with, as well as the coaching staff.
What's it like going into the second year with this coaching staff, kind of already knowing them?
Yeah, just even like the drills, you know, like you go to the board, he starts explaining it, you know what you're doing, you know, like you don't need to ask questions after and slow down the practice, and that just makes camp just so much more seamless, so much less like thinking and trying to comprehend exactly what the point of the drill is, even though some of us struggled with it today. It's really nice, just the familiarity, and even not just the coaches, but for my second year, just like walking in the room, knowing everyone, having a relationship with everyone, especially like even the new guys. Obviously, JT's one of my closest friends, and skate a ton with the Cat in the summer, and so there's a lot of familiarity walking around the room already, which is really nice.
When it comes to kind of those two new guys that you already know, how do you kind of serve as kind of the conduit to help them get to know the rest of the group?
Well, for the Lions-Chiefs opener, we already had something. We had another team thing, and then we had, all at Traverse City. We had a couple dinners, golf things that were set up kind of on the way up that were huge for the team. I think walking into training camp, I think if you asked every new guy, like they would be like, yeah, you know what, like I don't feel like I'm the new guy anymore, really. Like, I feel a part of the team, and I think that some of them had relationships with each other from before, and some guys obviously on the team knew some guys from before, but I think if you walked around our room right now, you'd be almost surprised at how well everyone has gelled and gotten to know each other at this point.
Last year, you obviously coming into a new team, didn't know anybody, but after 1 year now, you had the chemistry last year with Rasmussen and Perron as well sometimes. I mean, how much does that help coming into a new year if he keeps you guys together to go into a season with familiar line mates?
Yeah, there's some familiarity there. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of tinkering, though. I think you saw it last year. I think the lines change very, very often. So, but I also feel like I'm going to be a different player this year, so that can kind of change chemistry almost, you know? Like, you have a little bit more jump, you have a little bit more energy. So, you know, maybe my game, you know, ramps up a little bit and then chemistry changes. So yeah, that's what all preseason's for. I mean, I don't think the chemistry between me, Ross, and DP is going to change, but, you know, hopefully we can just kind of continue to take the next step. I think we got a lot of good players here, and I think myself being healthy, I think you saw what a healthy Fabs did last night a little bit. So I think it's just, we're just trying to keep the momentum rolling a little bit.
Like, where do you think you want to, like, offensively, or just like
just
both ends of the ice?
Yeah, I mean, just everywhere. Like, just more jump, stronger, not going into the corner, trying to make it out of the corner, trying to like go and win the puck and win the battle, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think it's just gonna. I think you're just gonna see a different team on the ice from top to bottom, I think, this year.
What do you think the biggest challenge will be this year going into the season?
How cohesive can we get on the ice as soon as possible? I think we have a good template of how we want to play. You know, system structure, all that kind of stuff. I think, you know, like the little things of where guys are going to be, and you know, little tendencies that guys have. I think, you know, that kind of goes into chemistry. But it's as soon as we can find, you know, our identity, I think, is going to be the most important thing for us.
You guys know what that identity is, or is it something you're still figuring out?
I mean, I think it's playing fast and it's being really hard to play against. I wouldn't say playing hard to play against in terms of like big hits and you know, really, really heavy, but I think it's going to be really quick. It's going to be on the puck. It's going to be not giving teams a lot of time and space. So, and you look at our backhand. I mean, our backhand, we go 8, 9 deep maybe, you know. So, I think we're feeling really good about that, about our defensive zone, and if we can end more plays quickly. I think that was something we struggled with last year, was just kind of letting guys off the hook and not finishing plays in the defensive zone and kind of getting the puck moving out. That I think we have the personnel now to end plays quicker, support the puck, get the puck out of the zone. I think, you know, we'll get more offense from that, because we would just get stuck in our D zone. You're spending way more energy down there. You're inefficient. So by the time you get to the offensive zone, you're kind of just trying to survive, or you're changing, and you know, hopefully we can end those plays quicker in the D zone and get to offense.
As a leadership group, do you kind of look at, like, when building that identity, do you guys kind of take more of that on now in year 2, knowing obviously what Newsy kind of expects and everything?
A little bit. I mean, that's kind of the coach's message, I think, is identity in terms of how we want to play. I mean, everyone has their own kind of opinion, but I mean, it's got to be up-tempo and it's got to be hard to play against. I think, you know, we have the capability to play a more skilled game than we did last year maybe, but we can't just rely on skill. Skill's got to just kind of come out organically. It can't be like, oh, we're going to play a skill game. Like, that has never worked and will never work.
What can Comfort bring to the team?
A lot. I mean, I think his off the ice, his ability to connect with everyone, leadership, lead by example, takes care of his body, does everything the right way off the ice, on the ice, smart, cerebral, versatile player, both power play, penalty kill, will help on the right side of the faceoff. So we don't kind of get hammered there a little bit. Makes guys around him better, plays big in big moments. Yeah, I would think that he's going to be a great add.
You mentioned that he's one of your closest friends. Is that something that kind of that friendship can translate directly into on-ice chemistry in the context of, say, playing together on the penalty kill?
I hope so. I feel like sometimes with your like closest friends that you want it so bad to work on the ice that it's almost like you're kind of either deferring or like looking for each other when it doesn't necessarily need to happen that way. It's got to happen a little bit more organically. But yeah, we've only played together a few games kind of at Michigan, and I think we need to improve our play together from those games. But no, it'll be awesome. I think we're looking forward to 8 years later, kind of seeing where we're at when we're on the ice together.
Growth is important for every player, but for you guys to take that next step, how important is that growth for the younger guys and the guys who are battling for spots?
I mean, growth for everybody. Like one of the things I got to see up close and personal was Blake Wheeler go from like a 45, 50, 55 point guy to a 100-point guy in Winnipeg, and I think that happened at 35. Like that. No one is ever as good. I mean, there's no point where you think, okay, I've hit my ceiling. Like there's always ways to get better, either execution-wise, body-wise, mentality-wise. Learning where to go, learning where not to go. You can never stop getting better. So I think it's really important for everybody to take a step. I don't think it's just about the young guys.
Did you and Lars kind of go hard on Copp, or did you kind of have a feeling he was going to be coming here, or what?
I kind of had a feeling a little bit, but yeah, there's a couple late night phone calls right around July 1 that both me and my fiance were very excited for him to come here. Thanks.
Christian, what's it been like so far here, just coming over to a new team like this now?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously, a lot of us came down a couple weeks before camp, so been with the guys for over almost a month now, so I think that helped a lot. We did a lot of golfing and captain skates and dinners and whatnot, so that's been, that kind of helped going into camp. I think day one it wasn't like I didn't know anybody. I almost knew, pretty familiar, and had good relationships with about just about everybody.
You guys mentioned that. I mean, verbatim almost. I mean, was that pretty crucial, you think, in this whole process?
I think it goes a long way. Like when it goes to first day at camp, right? When you're out there with your line mates or even whoever you're skating with or skating against, I think it's fun, right? To compete out there and kind of have that relationship, right? If I don't know you, we go out there and have a hard battle, and then we just skate away. It's a little funner when you if it's DP out there, got to go to dinner with him a couple nights, and then you go out on the ice, and it makes you kind of want to work harder and compete harder. So it's kind of nice to do that.
Just as a new guy coming in, is the depth that this team added in the offseason kind of apparent just from practices and a couple of games that you've seen so far, that just the competition, not only for spots, but for power play,
yeah.
PK time and everything?
Yeah, I think it's great to have, in my opinion. I think when you look at our roster on paper, obviously, majority of the guys have, played for, a couple of years, 4, 5, 6 years. And like you just said, we have a lot of guys that we brought in, about 8 or 9 new guys that all have their different, specialties, and I think that's good. I think it's healthy to have guys, competing for PK spots or you want to be on the first unit or second unit of power play, or even just depth in the lineup. We very clearly have 12 or 13 deep forwards and 7 or 8 NHL D-men, which is it's not a bad. We all have watched this game, and you see how many injuries and stuff and just random things that happen during the year. It's obviously great to have the depth, and then also throw on top of it. I think it pushes guys to compete harder in practice and try to better their role or earn a role or earn a spot in the lineup.
What do you feel like that you need to show in this preseason as you push for one of those?
Yeah, I think it's I'm not trying to shock anybody here with come in. I think I've kind of established who I am as a player. I think that's very evident. A lot of D zone, a lot of matchups, and obviously PK is kind of my bread and butter. So obviously just playing one game thus far, but that's kind of my focus, is just get back into that the groove of PK, the groove of those D zone draws are so crucial. If you could have a line that matches up when you're up a goal or 2 goals to kind of match up against the the top line of the other team. I think that goes a long way, and also saves. Those are hard minutes, right? Saves those minutes from the top, your top 6 guys that you want them in taking those ozone draws, and obviously having as many power plays and whatnot. You don't want them out there spending energy and matching up and playing hard minutes in the D zone as much as you can. Obviously, it's a game of hockey, and that's going to happen. But I think that's my MO is just playing a really hard 200-foot game, and then PKs. That's where over the last couple of years taking a lot of pride in, and I think I do really well at that.
Bob Booker's penalty kills. I think that's one of the reasons they brought him in, and he was obviously part of something with San Jose. What have you thought about that system and him so far?
Yeah, it's actually pretty similar to what we ran last year in Arizona. Actually, I think it might have came from when Boogie was in San Jose with John Madden. He was our PK with us, so I think that works out well that they were kind of running similar systems, so that helps out a lot. But it's like, that's what preseason's for, right? Just getting those reps in. Obviously, 7 or 8 games. I think that gives you enough time to kind of understand it. We do a lot in practice, but game time is obviously when it matters, and that's preseason in a nutshell. Trying to get up to speed, but when game 1 starts and we're in New Jersey, it counts, right? Those PKs, that's a lot of the times that's what it comes down to, is that special teams goal is kind of what most of the time makes a difference in the game.
Back at the summer, what was it like kind of to be in that position now, to kind of pick your next spot after being in one spot for
Yeah, that was a little different. Happened pretty quick too, so it wasn't not like it was a standard. I was a UFA going into it, right? There was a little contract stuff with Arizona, and then a couple of days later I was a UFA, and then kind of went through that July 1st. That was my first time, like you said, right? I was at Arizona for 7 years, and haven't had to deal with that. A little stressful getting all those calls and kind of picking your future out in a matter of 10-20 minutes, but obviously made the right choice and felt very comfortable with my conversations with Newsy and Steve and the coaching staff itself. I think that's kind of what brought me this way, and then seeing the guys that they signed early on too. I think it kind of shows as players that when you go out to pick or when you go through that, you obviously want to go to a contending team and a winning team, and you see the moves. You're bringing in JT, and you got obviously Cat, and I go down Petrie, you go down the list, Ghost. It's pretty evident that they're getting good NHL players here, that we're trying to win some games and improve this team. And I just, obviously very lucky to be a part of that.
You talked to Newsy. What was kind of the things that he kind of mentioned about kind of what he's trying to build and how he looks at the team and everything?
Yeah, I think, more stuff from myself. I think it was more, he was pretty spot on when it came to the, seeing what my game is. I think he was very spot on. Same with Steve. I think they know. Like I said, I'm not trying to surprise anybody here and score 35 goals. We have a lot of guys that get paid a lot of money to do that, and that's their job. We got to have. I think that's the big thing is having 4 lines of roles and guys having solidified roles. I think that goes such a long way. Keeps the groove of the flow of the game going, and like I said, you don't need you don't want certain guys out there in situations, blocking shots, or like I said, just eating up minutes in the D zone. You want to put the guys that are meant for that job or do that job well. You want them to that's their expertise. You want to do that. So I think that's I think I look at the roster and saw it. They had some openings in the depth roles, and the PK I know that they wanted to improve on. So that's kind of where. We came to a conclusion on it all.
Are you looking forward to Eastern Conference travel now?
Yeah. I think Arizona. I think our closest division game was 3 hours away or something like that. So that was a treat. That's been for a couple of years over there. So definitely looking forward to the 45-hour flights to Toronto and Chicago, whatever that is. And obviously, being from Chicago, got lots of family close by. They could make the 4 or 5 hour drive up and catch a lot of games. So that's always nice to have the family close.
I remember you said you were kind of looking forward to playing for a hockey market or Original Six type.
Yeah.
Have you kind of caught, still really early?
Yeah.
Have you kind of caught a glimpse of that, or kind of like, wow, might be kind of special?
Yeah, for sure. I think like I said, it is very early. We have played one preseason game here. We didn't even play him, but I think even up in Traverse City or going to dinners with the guys, obviously it's the city cares about the Red Wings, which is obviously that's an honor to have that recognition from the city, but it makes you want to perform for that as well, right? As you talk to athletes and what we want to do is obviously we want to win, but to do that in a city that cares and is behind you and embraces you, obviously we all know that playoffs is haven't been in playoffs here for a couple of years, and if that doesn't motivate you as a player to want to work harder and make that next step, and then also on top of it throw, like you just said, the city on top of you that obviously is so passionate and cares, and like you said, I think that's especially for my game, that blue collar hard work and blocking shots stuff, that excites me to know that we have thousands of fans behind us and cheering us on. That's going to be very, very looking forward to that.
It's still early in the process, but when you look around the dressing room, what's kind of stands out? Is it the personalities, the work ethic? What's kind of stood out to you so far?
I'd say, it's a combination of things. I'm very, very comfortable, I'd say, early on with this group. I think that speaks volumes to the leadership of, even the young guys. You look at Mo and Ray and obviously Lark's, I wouldn't consider Lark's young, but they do such a good job of, bringing the new guys in. We had, multiple team dinners, going golfing, little stuff like that off the ice I think goes a long way. But I think on the ice it's fun to see. I think we have a pretty different mix of personalities. Obviously some guys are a little more reserved, or DP, you can't shut him up. He keeps talking, I think, in his sleep as well. But I think that's fun. I think you need that mix of different personalities, and I think if it all gels well together, that's perfect. That's what you want to go for. I think you talk to any guys that have won around this league, they speak a lot about the locker room, of that culture. Obviously, the Red Wings, have that culture that's solidified, but I think it changes from team to team with personalities and personnel. I think we have a great mix here of personalities and guys in different stages of their career. If we could put it all together, I think we're going to have a very exciting team to watch. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.